Hi everyone, I'm Reggie Whitley. Thanks so much for joining me on the Open Vault podcast. Hopefully, you'll hear something that'll inspire you, empower you, enlighten you, or just make your day a little better. Since you're here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and or follow, depending on the platform that you're tuning in on. And feel free to share this podcast onto your social media pages and with your friends and loved ones. First of all, hi, it's me again, Reggie Whitley. Really excited that you're back with me for week 2, episode 2 of season 1 of our podcast, Open Vault with Reggie Whitley. So today I was supposed to have a couple of guests, but they're going to be on a little later in the season. So I said, I wonder what am I going to talk about? I have one or two recorded podcasts with other people already, and I said I don't know if they're ready for that. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Well, I'm ready, but I was like, I don't want to hit them so hard already because I'm not having so many comfortable conversations. I'm having a number of uncomfortable conversations where things that need to be talked about, things that have gone unsaid for a while. So every podcast isn't one that's going to leave you happy and excited and everything. There are some that's going to leave you thinking hard, that's going to leave you saying, should I be doing better? What more can I do? Do I need to change? And so these aren't all going to be just me talking. They're not all going to be something that's necessarily exciting for you to experience, and because it's uncomfortable. Some of them are very uncomfortable. Some may be controversial or controversial, however you say that. Some may not be so. You may want to unsubscribe, and you're not going to though, because they're going to be really good. We're going to back them with facts, with evidence, and all that stuff. And so we're not out here trying to upset people, but I definitely didn't want to upset you all already. I'm just getting you here. You're new. You're new here. If I adopt a child today, I'm not going to have them outside cutting the grass today. I'm probably going to kind of ease them in a little bit. And so I didn't want to give you something that was too much. We're still letting you drink the milk, as they say. We're going to give you some meat a little later. So in my thinking, I was like, I don't know what I can talk about this time. I have a lot that I can talk about, but on such short notice, what am I going to talk about with everyone? I have to come up with a name for you guys. Um, Different people call their people different things. I don't like to use the term audience. I don't like to use those terms. I have to come up with something. I love how Sarah Jakes Roberts calls her people who watch her podcast the delegation. I don't want to steal Sarah's phrase, but if I can't think of anything better, you will become the delegation. But I'm going to try to think of something. But yeah, I wanted to kind of ease you guys in because we're new. We're new here. Catch me episode 5. How about that? So I said, let's talk about, I guess, a few things about me. Some of you may or may not know me personally, or may not know me very well. So why not just talk about a few things about myself? I don't want this to be a show just about me, but since I'm your host, you're stuck with me. Other people come and go. I'm here for good. I'm sorry if you wanted somebody else. It's called Open Vault with Reggie Whitley. Here I am. So since we're in this for a while, let's get to know each other. Um, I loved the text messages, the phone calls, and things, the emails that I got from last week's podcast. One thing struck me though, and I hope you're listening this week. I'm not going to call your name. I was a little confused because one of the things that we talked about last week was, I think it was funeral chicken versus um, baby shower meatballs. And, I really enjoyed that part. I read one of the comments that said that they would rather have the chicken than the meatballs, the funeral chicken. And they put like a comma or something and they said grilled or fried. I can't relate. I don't know. I know you're listening. Hey, love you, but I don't know. Um, I've never had grilled. First of all, I've never had grilled chicken from churches. Churches don't need to be out here grilling chicken. When did they start caring about our health? After the funeral, I'm grieving. I need something hot and greasy. I, I maybe I'll try it at the next funeral I go to. Some grilled chicken. That's weird though. That's not what my emotions need. I don't really need health conscious chicken. I need that crust to really crisp when I bite on it. But anyway, that was last week. That's just something that really stood out to me. And I was like, is this like a whole population of people that do this, that eat this grilled or baked chicken after the funeral? I don't know. I just had to bring that up because I hadn't been able to really get a lot of rest thinking about that. So I just had to get that out. Um, Interesting. It's very interesting. So, anyway, I'm going to go over 7 things about myself, and we're just going to see where we go from there. So, number one, in case you did not know, and in case you could not tell, I'm very introverted. Now, I know it may not seem like it on this podcast. Of course, we're only 2 episodes in, but it may already not seem like it. I probably seem like a very outspoken person, one who loves to talk. Some of you may have seen me out, I don't know, talking somewhere. I'm very introverted. I was listening to someone and they were talking about how there's like 2 types of people that go to parties or gatherings or social events. You have the type that goes and when they go, they have a really good time and they're excited. And when they leave, they're just pumped up and they're ready to go to the after party. They're saying, where's the next party? Where's the next gathering? Whose house are we going over after this? And then you have the one who goes and they have a good time while they're there. But after it's over, they're exhausted. They're like, boy, I can't wait till I get home, take a shower, get into bed. I'm person number 2. First of all, I avoid going to gatherings and all that stuff. I haven't been to a family reunion in quite some time. I haven't been to large gatherings. I just don't like them. A lot of people, it wears me out. I don't know, is that a thing that the people can like pull on your energy? And you can get tired. I don't know. I get really tired, and it takes me a while to first of all make up my mind that I'm going. Um, if I do make up my mind that I'm going, I have to keep talking myself into it. I don't go to weddings. I remember fussing at somebody because I didn't get invited to their wedding, and they sent me an invitation, and then I was like, oh, does that mean I have to go now? And I tried to make up in my mind that I was going to go until the day of, and I was like, I just can't do it. I just cannot handle it. That's going to be a bit much for me to take in. I try to avoid events and gatherings at all costs, but if I go, I'll go and I'll probably have a good time. Might really enjoy myself. But then after some time, I'm like, it's time to go. I'm ready to go home. No, I'm not coming over your. No, no, we don't have to go out to. No, no. Like this is over. You might not see me again for some months. I'm really an introvert. I used to be more extroverted when I was younger. Um, Now I'm just gonna sit and look at you. Don't ask me to do nothing extra when I go out. I'm here. You know, if I'm here, that's enough. That first of all, that's a lot. When a person like me comes to your event, that's enough right there. You don't need me to do anything extra. I can't. Like that shows support right there that I came. I didn't want to. It ain't nothing personal, but I didn't want to show up. It's just an introverted thing, and so we're working on it. Who is we? I don't know. Me and the Lord, we're working on it. Because I have a lot of people to talk to. Doing a podcast isn't the easiest. It's not the route that you would go being an introvert. But hey, here we are. Here we are. We're going to see how it goes. So, yeah, that's number one. I am highly introverted. Number two is I don't really watch the news, especially during times like this. Now, my don't watch the news is to the extreme. I normally get my news from the Shade Room on Instagram. If the Shade Room isn't talking about it, I probably don't know about it. In fact, I think we were in like the first week of April before I knew that there was a pandemic going on. I literally did not know anything about COVID-19. until like the first week of April. Nobody, it's kind of got me thinking because I got people like family and stuff. Nobody thought to call your boy and let him know what was going on. I didn't know. A friend told me about it. He was like, the National Guards are supposed to be coming in. They're supposed to be shutting down. Well, first of all, I was like, why are they coming? Or is there going to be a convention? Why is the National Guard coming to Tennessee? Well, they're shutting down. I think he said they're shutting down the state of Tennessee or something. Why are they? What's going on? Is there a terrorist group or something? I'm really confused as to what's happening. And he said, you know, COVID-19. Like, COVID who? I had never heard of COVID-19 because I don't watch the news. Um, Partially because the news for some people and for a lot of people, it kind of plays with your emotions. And when I say plays with your emotions, like you can be in a really good mood, but then you can watch the news and be really down. And even if you don't know why you're down, it's probably something that you saw in the news. It's like in the back of your mind, like, oh, there's so much going on. Oh, this is overwhelming. And so for me, the news is just not my happy place unless it's coming from, of course, the shade room, like I said. And half of those people I don't even know. So I guess that's why the shade room works for me because I can't really carry this. I can't really dwell on this because I don't even know who this is that they're talking about. But thank you for letting me know, shade room. Um, but yeah, a lot of people it really gets them down, it gets them sad, it gets them depressed, or even stressed out. And so I just choose not to watch news. So if I watch it, I really just want to watch happy news. There's not something on TV that I found that just gives happy news. And so again, I have to go to faithful old Instagram or Facebook to find happy news. And so that's what's leading to this segment that I've created called See the Light. See the Light, of course, as I've said last week, is a segment that I created that really highlights or shines the light on really good news, positive news, inspiring news, even funny news, things that really brighten your day, or at least brighten my day, and hopefully it brightens your day as well. So the first story in today's See the Light segment is about NBA star Kyrie Irving, who is committing $1.5 million to supplement the incomes of WNBA players who opted out of the season either because of coronavirus concerns or social justice issues. So his funds will come from the empowerment initiative that he has created just last Monday. It will also provide all WNBA players access to a financial literacy program created by UBS. With the help of such players as Natasha Cloud, who chose to sit out this season because of social injustices, Mr. Irving has connected with a number of WNBA players and has discussed the challenges that they face in deciding whether to play this year or not. These conversations led Irving to help with the financial burdens in the league, where the top annual salary is a little more than $200,000. And so I really think that this is a great thing that Irving is doing. I don't really watch, I don't watch basketball at all, whether it's NBA or WNBA. But I remember sometime last year, I was thinking about, I don't know why I just thought about the WNBA. I was watching a video. I can't remember who it was that was talking about the pay gap, gender pay gap. And I don't know why I automatically thought of the WNBA. And I thought to myself, is that even a thing? So I actually had to go on Google to find out is the WNBA still a thing? And come to find out it is. And I had to look it up because no one ever talks about it that I hear about. Again, I don't watch sports at all. I couldn't tell you what channel ESPN was on if you paid me to. I wouldn't even know what area to look for it in. I don't know anything about sports really, but I remember there being a WNBA in the past, but I've never heard of WNBA players as of lately. And so when I kind of went down a rabbit hole last year when I went to search for it because I was just amazed at how even the names, how you may not know a person, but when you see their name, it kind of clicks, something clicks in your mind. Like, I think I've heard, well, I looked at a lot of their top players, the WNBA's top players, and I knew none of them. Nothing clicked in my mind. I wasn't familiar with their pictures, with their names. And so I said, I wonder how much are they getting paid, because it's clear that they're not getting as much recognition as the NBA and their players. And so I saw just what this article mentions, is that some of their top annual salaries is just a little over $200,000, which is to me ridiculous. Now, this isn't a podcast about the pay gap, the gender pay gap, although it could be. And although I would love to have that conversation soon, because it's clearly an issue, not just among the NWA, I mean the WNBA and the NBA, but just in general in the United States and globally. But I really am bothered about the fact that these women have worked pretty much as hard as the men have worked to join the professional league of basketball, and they're paid a small fraction of what the NBA players make. You know, some NBA players make millions of dollars per season. And again, for the third time, the top WNBA players make only a little over $200,000, which to me is really shameful. And so kudos to Kyrie Irving, who has, because although some may say, well, when you look at it, $1.5 million isn't that much. You know, it's a lot, but it's not that much. Well, it is a lot when you have their top players making a little over 200,000. That's their top players. That's not the bottom players. That's the top of the league. So I'm sure you have some who may be making under $100,000. So that 1.5 is gonna, I'm sure, stretch amongst so many, and really help out so many of those women. And not only that, but he is shining a light himself on the fact that this is an issue. He's having the conversations that need to be had, and he has even started the initiative to help these women. And so hopefully this leads to more attention being put on the WNBA, to more funding going towards the WNBA, and hopefully we see a change for those women who work, in my opinion, just as hard as the men. So the second story's headline says, Man is honoring handshake from 28 years ago, splitting lottery jackpot with a friend after winning millions. I'm going to shorten the story, but it goes a little something like this. Friends Tom and Joe shook hands in 1992, swearing that if either of the pals won the jackpot, or the Powerball jackpot, that they would split the winnings no matter who bought the ticket. Tom was frozen, it says, after he realized that the Powerball ticket that he bought was the $22 million jackpot winner. Of course, he called his friend Joe and told him about the news, and neither one of them could believe it. So Tom gave his 2 week notice and retired upon learning of the news. And the two of them came together, cashed in their ticket, and they both took home $6 million each after taxes, looking forward to enjoying more time with their family. You know, we all need a Tom in our lives. I don't know about you, but I want a Tom. You mean to tell me I don't even have to go out and buy the ticket? I don't even have to go out and, we're not supposed to buy lottery tickets as, Christians, but I ain't got nothing to do with what my friend Tom does. I'm pretty sure God ain't gonna be dissatisfied if Tom split that with. Can I get a Tom in my life? How many years ago did they say? Over 20. In 1992, they shook hands and agreed whoever wins the Powerball. I don't care who it is. Whichever one of us does it, we're gonna split it down the middle. And you mean to tell me that Tom bought it? Not only did he win, but he remembered his friend Joe, who didn't even live in the same city, it says. I don't know about y'all, but I might not be able to remember nothing from 1992. That's a good friend. God is gonna have to bless what he did. He blessed what? God gonna have to bless. He did bless him. I know y'all gonna say he didn't bless him with the power. I don't know now. I don't know. God ain't did that. I don't know. I think he has something to do with it, and he stuck to his promise. But can we? I mean, well, first of all, that is great. That is a great story. I couldn't imagine being just sitting at home or at work, whatever I was doing, and bam, I get a phone call from my old friend and say, "Hey, guess what? I just won a $22 million Powerball. And you remember in 1992? See, that's amazing. But that's the light that we're shining. Okay, so let's marinate in the light because I don't want to take you out the light too fast. You okay? You got it all? You took it in? Because what I want to talk about is they took home, they says they both took home nearly $6 million after taxes. So you mean to tell me I don't know much about algebra, but I know 6 plus 6 is 12. And I know 22 minus 12 is 10. I don't even need a calculator for that. I'm just trying to figure out how is it that the taxes on $22 million came out to be 10 million. You know, I'm grateful, not that I won anything, but if I did, I'm grateful for the 12. But I feel like Tom and Joe have a right to that other 10. I'm really, I'm just, I'm just a little distraught by it. Really, to be honest with you, I don't know. I'm just trying to see how is it that I just won 22 million and I can't even take home. I made a bet with my friend that we're gonna split it down the middle and we can each take home a whole six. Because I said 6 plus 6, but the article clearly says that they took home nearly $6 million. Now we have a picture of Tom here. We have a picture of Joe here with their wives. I guess these are their wives. I don't know. But they're smiling, they're happy. I don't know. I'm concerned about that other 10. So what I'm proposing, y'all go with me now. I watch a lot of How to Get Away with Murder, which that's gonna come up in a minute. Um, I think I can. I think I can come up with, find a good lawyer. I think I'm gonna reach out to Tom and Joe because we got to sue the United States of America, just the whole country. I don't know how it works. You got nearly six. You got nearly six. I got the brain. We can figure this thing out. Tom, I need about 1 million. Joe, I need about him. Not for me. We have to get us a good lawyer because we have to sue these here United States of the America because we need that other 10. Ain't no way. Ain't no way taxes should have been $10 million. I don't know who shows up in the defendant corner at the table when we see the United States. I don't know if President Trump comes. I don't know if the living, 4 or 5 presidents. We got 4 or 5 still alive. Um, Carter, Obama, Clinton, Bush, and Trump. I don't know if they all show up and go to the defendant section. I don't know if that guy off the posters with the big hat that y'all call Uncle Sam, shows up as a defendant. I don't know who shows up, but somebody got to show up because I need some explanation as to what. I don't know what court we're going to. I want to go to Judge Judy because my girl Judy, she ain't with the foolishness, and I know she thinks this is foolery right here. I can see Judge Judy telling Trump, "Hush, hush, shut up, shut up." I can see her. Y'all, if we have to cut the season short, it's because we in court. And I'm coming back with the report because I need this 10 million right here for Tom and Joe. I'm just. But congratulations to Tom and Joe. Tom, congratulations on being a good person. You was a good one, sir. You are a good one. So that's my number 2. I don't really watch the news, but when I do watch it, I want to see happy news. So my number 3 about myself is I may or may not have a slight case of megalophobia. Now I know what you're saying. What in the world is megalophobia? That is the fear of large objects. Now, I may or may not have a slight case of it because I may or may not get dizzy when a person in a big mascot suit comes out and gets too close. My eyes get crossed. I get a little dizzy. I break out in sweats. And I try to play it cool. But I be like, I really wish you'd back up. I may or may not get a little scared when I'm riding in the car and we all of a sudden come up on a big building. I look to my left out the window and there's a huge building. That really throws me off, you know. Um, Shortness of breath, it's something. It's something. So I try to just brace myself. I'm not scared of much at all, but yeah, I might have that phobia. So if you can relate, congratulations, you have henceforth been diagnosed, and we can work through this together. We can work through this together. Number four, I'm practically obsessed with bedrooms. I don't know if everyone's like this. I love bedrooms, my bedroom specifically. I like closed in spaces. I don't like to be out in the open too much. So I like bedrooms because I like to have control over my environment. I like to be able to say who comes, who goes, what's here, what's not, the noise level in my bedroom. You don't get that a lot in like living rooms because then people will come and go and move around and everything. I just really like bedrooms because you can close the door, be in your own world, and just be comfortable and relax. Watch TV. I always have a chair in my bedroom because I like them so, but I don't want to stay in the bed all day. So yeah, I just have like a little obsession. Even when I go to hotels, like when I go out of town, I don't even have to go out. I guess it's got to do with number one, me being an introvert. I don't even have to go out to different places and different venues and stuff. If I can just stay in the hotel room, like I'm really comfortable. I don't want to go out and sit at the breakfast area and eat my breakfast in the morning. I want to get my food, go back up to the hotel. Even if I have family that's there, I'm sorry. I really would prefer to eat in in my hotel room. There's just something about rooms. I really like rooms that are closed in. I don't want to go to the psych ward or nothing, but you know, I don't know. That's a weird thing, but I said, oh, I think that's interesting, and I'm pretty sure other people are like that too because you can really control the environment in your bedroom. Number five, I'm a huge fan of binging shows. Like I'm almost a professional binge watcher. From Glee to Grey's Anatomy to How to Get Away with Murder to Empire and Greenleaf and How I Met Your Mother, I really love binging shows. I've watched Glee. All these shows are shows that I just named. These shows I didn't watch when everybody else was watching them. So I remember with Glee, I watched the last episode when it actually aired on Fox, and I was like, oh, I've never even heard of this before. I think I was in college because I've never even heard of this before, but it seems like a really good show. And so, as just by the last episode being aired, it was really nice. So I watched the entire season. I binged it in just a couple of months. I don't know how many seasons there are, about six maybe, or maybe seven. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, in just a couple of months, I was done with it. I really dedicate my time to it. I don't watch anything else. I don't have to watch anything else. Let me just watch this one show. So I've seen every episode of Glee maybe 3 or 4 times. Grey's Anatomy, an honorary doctor because I watched every episode of Grey's Anatomy. I practically out here prescribing medicines, but it ain't illegal. It ain't illegal because I'm telling people natural medicine to take. So there we go. But I do think I'm a doctor. Even people call me doctor. They call me doc or something like that. Because I do think I'm a doctor. I don't even like going to. Well, I like my doctor now, but normally I don't like going to doctors or talking to them because I'm sitting there judging because it's like, I don't believe what you're saying. That's not what I learned. And now, mind you, I don't have any degree, but I binged Grey's Anatomy, so I feel like I do have my medical degree. How to Get Away with Murder. I love that. Empire. I was late watching Empire. I didn't want to watch it because everybody else was watching it, the same as Power. See, y'all got to be careful with these shows because Empire was okay. I kind of started missing Bible class because of Empire. I just lost track of time on Wednesdays. It was a Wednesday night show, and yeah, I just didn't make it. sometimes. So that's not good, but hey. Yeah, God forgave me though. But Power really got to me. See, you got to be careful when you start watching these shows because with Power, I started driving differently. I thought I was packing. I'm out here like, let somebody roll up on me. I got some form because I'm just going to empty my clip. And I didn't even have a gun. Power really, it like got a hold of me. I started driving with my seat back further. I didn't use two. I don't really drive with two hands anyway, but I had my hand on top of the steering wheel at the 12, and I'm just dodging and dipping through cars and flying through traffic. So, binging has been good, except for that one show. I I had to really remember who I lost myself for a little while. It was dangerous. Out here trying to fight. Thought I was Ghost. If you don't know who Ghost is, you gotta watch it, but be careful. Please be careful. Greenleaf, but right now I'm watching How to Get a no How I Met Your Mother. I again watched the very last episode of it by accident one day. At the end, the guy was like, "And that is how I met your mother." And I said, "I want to know how we met his mother." This has been a task for me, y'all. This has not been easy to finish this series. Like it's been really difficult for me to finish. This is the only series I've had a hard time finishing because it's like Ted meets somebody new, and I feel like, oh, this is how he met their mother. But then they're not the kid's mother because Ted breaks up with them. And then he meets somebody else, and I'm like, maybe this is their mother, but it's not their mother. So I'm trying to get through with it. But my next show to binge is Scandal. Have y'all seen Scandal? Do y'all like it? I know Olivia Pope, I've heard of how good Olivia Pope is. I actually started watching it when I was in college, and I may have got through season one, I'm not quite sure. But I don't really remember a thing now. So that's what's next. I really want to finish How I Met Your Mother and then go to Scandal because I like to have a good schedule. But yeah, I think I need a break from How I Met Your Mother, so I might start Scandal now. There was a show, I can't remember the show I told y'all last week that I was watching. Um, I don't know. Whatever the show is, I think I've caught up on everything. I can't remember what the show was. Y'all go back and listen last week. Um, Number six, and we're almost finished. I only have two more. Number six is I haven't seen most popular movies. I'm really bad at watching movies too with people. So those are two in one. I haven't seen most of the popular movies. So a lot of movies that y'all have watched, Juice, Beetlejuice. I don't know. Soul, what is there? Soul Train or something? I think there's like a Soul Train. Um, The Godfather. I haven't seen any of the Godfathers. I don't think I've seen E.T., Forrest Gump. Pulp Fiction. I don't even know what that's about. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. I've seen none of those shows and stuff like I've seen Coming to America. I've never seen Poetic Justice, Queen and Slim. I've never seen the Fridays. I feel like I've seen Friday After Next. I think I've seen that once, but I don't really remember it. So does it count if I don't remember it? I don't know. I don't know if it should count or not. I've never seen like Set It Off, Selma. Only reason I've seen The Color Purple is because my girl Oprah is in it. I've seen that maybe once. It took me so many years to watch it, but yeah, I'm not a movie person. Apparently, I guess I don't watch those old movies. So when people have those discussions like, "Oh, that sounds like this," and they quote the movies, I be sitting there so lost, like I don't know what they're talking about. I may do like a little giggle to make them think I know what they're talking about because I don't want to be weird, but yeah, I probably don't know. I probably have no clue what you're talking about. I don't even think I've seen all of Precious. I've probably seen a bit of it, but I don't think I've seen all of it. So yeah, and then I'm a bad person to watch movies with because for one, if you walk out of the room, pause the movie. Don't walk out of the room, have the movie playing, and come back and say, "What did I miss?" I don't know. Rewind it. You're crazy. What did I miss? Didn't you know you was going to get up? I don't pay attention. So yeah, I really don't pay attention to movies. I'm horrible at it. I struggle. I try. I be trying, but yeah, no, I'm not the person to watch a movie with. And then if you want to have like a discussion about the movie afterwards, because I think that's what people do. They watch movies together and they talk about it afterwards. I'm probably not going to remember what happened. So it's just best not to even. It's just best not to even. And lastly, number six, I'm probably the last person who cares about other people's opinions. Now, I did all that to get to this. One of the things that I think is a real issue with people is they care so much about the opinions of other people. It's what holds people down. It's what keeps people in bondage. It's what keeps people's minds not free. And it stops a lot of people from doing a lot of really good things. I am the worst at caring about what people think. I used to not be this way. But what really helped me to get this way is I just stopped desiring to want to please people. A few years ago, I read a book called Crash the Chatterbox by Stephen Furtick. Last week, I did a quote, and it was by Stephen Furtick, and it was actually from this book. I didn't know I was even going to talk about the book. I didn't even know it was from the book until I was reading in it. And I said, oh, this is the quote that I gave them last week. But yeah, it is really my favorite book ever. He's one of my favorite authors ever. I really recommend everyone to get it. It's called, again, Crash the Chatterbox. It really teaches how to ignore the things that other people say, ignore the things that you tell yourself, ignore the things that the enemy tells you. It gets all of that out of your mind and just put your focus on what God says. And so I really love it because it really is a freeing book. It frees you from, I don't want to say caring, but in a way it does really free you from caring. A lot of people go all their lives just caring about, oh, what is this person going to say? What is that person going to say? What is that person going to think about me? I better not do this. I better not say this. And it really keeps you down. It keeps you, like I said, in bondage. And so it is such a great book. I recommend everyone to read it. One of my favorite things in one of the chapters is it talks about different things that you can say either to yourself or to other people, mainly to yourself, because you don't have to prove anything to anyone. So mainly to yourself. So when you start thinking negative thoughts, or when people start telling you negative things and what you can and can't do, can and can't have, can and can't be, you can tell yourself one of four things. But God says I am, but God says I can, but God says He has, and but God says He will. So briefly, what Stephen talks about in the book is, but God says I am. So when a person says, you can't do this, you're not this, you're never going to be good, you're never going to be great, you're going to be just like this person, whatever a person says that down you about yourself, you can just remember that God has made you fearfully and wonderfully made, and your works are wonderful, according to Psalms 139 and verse 14. And so no matter what others say about you, no matter if they discourage you, if they try to beat you down, if they try to talk bad about you, you can always say, but God says I am. Well, you're no good, but God says I am some good. Well, you're nothing, but God says that I'm great. Where you're a low life, well, God says that I'm above all and never beneath. And so you can always say, but God says I am. Also, if people down you, you think that you can't do something, or God or other people say that you can't do the things that you want to do, you can always say, but God says I can. You can say, but God says I can, because you can fight it with Philippians chapter 4, verses 12 and 13, which says, I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I know what I have learned, the secret of being content and in any and every situation, either while fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. So no matter what, you can do all things, no matter if you're low, no matter if you're high, no matter if you're good, no matter if you're bad, no matter if things are going good, is what I mean, or things are going bad. But God says, I can. You can what? Do all things through Christ who gives us strength. You can always fight back with, but God says, I can, when people tell you what you cannot do. And so the third one is, but God says He has. And so one of the examples for that can be maybe Joshua 1 and 3, which says, every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that which I have given to you. So your foot shall tread upon, you haven't made it there yet, that which I have already given to you. And so he has. When people make you feel like God isn't going to do a thing, well, he's already done it. I just haven't seen it yet. One of my favorite things says, I'm already a millionaire. I just don't have the money to prove it yet. I'm not going to claim that I'm broke. I'm not going to claim that I'm poor. I'm not going to claim that I'm in lack or in struggle. I'm already a millionaire. I just don't have the money to prove it yet. How do you know? Because God says he has. He's already. It just hasn't come to fruition yet. And so you just have to make sure that you work to where you can see what God has given you. If that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, let's call me so we can talk about it. But God says he has. No one should ever be able to convince you that you won't be able to get the things that God has for you. And lastly, number 4, but God says he will. And so the example I have for that is Acts 28, verses 1 through 6. That's a lot. I'm not going to read it all. But I want you to read it. Acts 28, verses 1 through 6. I suggest you read it in the NIV, but any version will do. But I suggest the NIV. And the reason why I want you to read that is because my key point in that, or the key point with this, is when God promises that he will preserve. He will preserve. And so no matter what happens, he will. He will preserve. He will do what he said. At the bottom of the pit, even God is greater. God is greater than anything that we are facing. And so he will. He will do what? He will do what he said. What does he say that he'll do? It's all over the Bible. He will restore, deliver, save, protect, provide, bring you out, help you, guide you, love on you. But God says he will. So I want you to take those 4 things, activate them in your life. You have to get it in your mind. This is a book that I again suggest that you read, Crash the Chatterbox by Stephen Furtick. I've read it multiple times. I've even taught on it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years straight. Summers, I've taught it to youth 3 or 4 years straight. It is something that is just, I don't know what the word is. It'll never get old. And so I definitely suggest you to get this book. And this is just one chapter that he talks about this in, but there's so much more he talks about in this book. Me versus me versus, self, me versus people, and all that kind of stuff. How to not hear the negative things and only hear what God says. So again, these 4 things, activate them in your life this week. Get the book. Already be practicing on this while you're waiting on the book to get here. The book isn't that much. You can afford the book. Go ahead and order it on Amazon. I get all my stuff off of Amazon. And so that way you'll get it soon. And when you get it, I'm pretty sure your life will be changed if you read it. Also, if I'm not mistaken, there's audiobooks out there on it. But anyway, just activate these 4. But God says I am. But God says I can. But God says he has. And but God says he will. So you should never feel defeated if you have all 4 of these things just implanted down in your mind and in your heart. Ooh, so that's all for this podcast. First of all, let me find out that I'm getting a hang of this podcasting thing already. 2 weeks straight, on time podcast releases, overcoming hurdles already, sliding into these different segments. Did y'all hear how I slid into my See the Light segment? Did you expect it? I just slid into it in part 2. I was like, we're just going to insert this here. I think that was pretty good. I have to pat myself on the back. Did y'all see how I made you think you just came to hear about me, but I gave you a bit of a word in the end? Listen, somebody better come get me. No, somebody better call the Oprah Winfrey Network at 1-866-324-3637. Who is that? That is the Oprah Winfrey Network. Tell them that Reggie Whitley is near about ready for his talk show. Again, 1-866-324-3637. Reggie Whitley is near about ready for his talk show. Your boy about ready. I ain't ready yet, but I'm about there. I think I done good. Y'all tell Oprah, tweet her at Oprah. It's that simple. Email her at oprah@oprahwinfrey.com. Reggie, Whitley. Anyway, let me let y'all go so y'all can order that book and make that call. Make the call, y'all. Make the call. If you can't remember, Google it. Ask Google. Buy the book, Amazon.com. I don't get any profit. Steven ain't paying me not a dime for telling y'all to buy the book. So I really mean it. So yeah, that's all for this week. I'll be back next week. I might be alone. Might be with the guest. Who knows? But I'll be back. So come and join me next week on Open Vault.